headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they actually love, and create real, amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Entree Leadership Podcast, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Taylor is going to start off this hour in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hey, Taylor, what's up?
Hello, how are you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So I am debt-free, but I'm afraid to invest. I like knowing that I have an X amount of dollars of money in my account, and that it'll only change if I spend it. But I would like to purchase or even possibly build a home and start a snowball investment with a rental property. But the house I own right now wouldn't be a good rental, and I'm just not sure where to start to not be house broke.
Okay, so you own a house now. Do you owe money on the house that you live in?
No.
Good. What's it worth?
About $130,000.
Good for you. And what do you make a year?
Gross or net?
Either.
Net $43,000.
Okay. How'd you get a $130,000 house paid off?
I got it gifted in a divorce.
Oh, well, there's that. Okay. Good deal.
So what are you looking to buy? You said you've got some money in the bank, but you're scared to put it into real estate?
Yeah, so I don't know how real estate works really, and I never bought a house. All the houses that I've had has been just I sign on the line, and now I have a house because that's what my ex-husband did. So I just don't know where to start, how to get into rentals.
Okay. How old are you?
31.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an office manager at an oil and gas company.
Okay, good for you. All right. Well, in buying a rental house, not knowing anything about real estate is dangerous. That's why you're hesitant.
Right.
That's why you're hesitant. So
Yes.
you need to, do some. You need to engage in some kind of a process to learn about being a landlord and learn about what all is entailed with that. Because
Okay.
you don't want to learn. This is not a learn on the job thing. Okay, you want to know what you're getting into. So you might get in touch with some real estate people. You might get in touch with some training on how to properly put the right kind of tenant in the property, how to interact with the tenant so that you get paid. Because I don't want them to perceive the tenant to perceive that you're someone they can take advantage of because you don't know what's going on.
Right.
Because that perception would lead to rent not being paid. We're not going to do that, okay?
Yeah, I've done that before.
So, you need to come at this from a position of strength, and the knowledge will give you the confidence and the strength to do that. At that point, then, I'm going to start saving up and paying cash for a rental. Again, how much cash do you have?
About $45,000.
Okay, all right. So you're not ready today anyway. So
Right.
we would tell you to pay cash for any properties, but certainly for investment properties. And so you might kind of start poking around going, okay, what can I buy for $100 or, whatever in the Albuquerque area? And what kind of tenant does that mean I'm going to be dealing with? Mm-hmm. And is this what I want to do then? And so while you're saving from 40 up to 100 above your emergency fund, you need to keep an emergency fund. I would engage in learning to give you the confidence to do this.
Now, Dave, we talk about trying to find a deal. You don't want to pay, market or above in an investment property. Are there certain parameters you'd say, hey, if you can buy it for $100 and rent it out for $1,000, is there a certain percentage that makes sense?
Well, I mean, that is kind of an old rule of thumb that you can probably rent it per month for 1%. But you can't always. It doesn't always work that way. So you need to investigate what that property will rent for. Then, I'm always looking to buy considerably under the, quote, appraised value, unquote. And so, what all is that going to mean in her situation? So it's going to take her some time to build up her money to do this with. And during that time, she's got really going to have to, in a sense, go to real estate school.
Do some homework.
Informally go to real estate school and learn about landlording, learn about property and, investing. It's not super complicated, but it's not something you want to walk into with having done no prep, none whatsoever. Michael's with us in Dallas. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
I'm a first-time caller. My wife actually called you in 2009 doing a debt-free scream on our behalf.
Cool.
My question is regarding legacy and making a will. My wife and I currently don't have wills, and the reason is that we're in some disagreement on what to do. And our disagreement is related to our children. Our children are both adults, out of school. They're 29 and 33. And both of them, their lives are a hot mess. We both agree not to leave them our money. I want to leave our money to the church. She wants to leave it to sporadically different family members because she's made really close to her nieces and nephews and their children.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need some guidance.
Okay. Neither one is wrong.
Neither is wrong. We consider making wills, but we don't really want to go separate from each other, and that's the difficulty that we're having.
No, you shouldn't. Because you're going to probably leave everything to her. She's probably going to leave everything to you. And the only thing that comes up with all this other stuff is the second to die.
Yes, that's the easy part. I just don't want whoever dies last wins kind of a thing.
It's one way to do it.
Game of Thrones, baby. Here we go.
I mean, could you split the difference? Could a portion go to the church and a portion go to family?
That is a possibility. Actually, we recently watched The Legacy Journey, and after the segment on making a will and leaving a legacy, we probably had the biggest fight that we've had in 10 years.
Wow.
And it was related to this issue.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could help. Yeah, I think George is onto something. I think some compromise is in order. There's no moral issue with either of the things. There's no ethical issue with either of the things. And I think both of them are actually valid. And if I were in your situation, I'd probably want to do a little of both. And splitting it down the middle, or, it doesn't even have to be down the middle, but some of each is a really, really good move. That's a real good plan. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you listening. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Camel Ramsey personality is my co-host today, and one of his good friends and my new friends, Graham Stephan, has dropped by. Big-time real estate YouTube guy. Everybody knows who he is. Netflix famous.
Oh, yeah. 4 million subscribers on YouTube. That's pretty impressive.
It is. And it's incredible to be here because I really feel like I got a lot of my start watching you. And you were the one that really forged a path on YouTube before I even started. So seeing you do it first gave me almost the permission that, wow, maybe I could do it too.
Yeah, and then the weird thing is I actually didn't forge anything. It was just YouTube versions of this show. It was just YouTube watching in while we do this show. That's all I did. And our YouTube team clipping that stuff up and running it around. But Graham got his real estate license at 18 years old. He sold over $130 million of residential real estate. He owns a bunch of real estate. I won't say how much. I happen to know because of some stuff we taped earlier today, but has done very, very, very well in the real estate world and is well known. Okay, so I got my real estate license when I turned 18 too. 3 weeks after I turned 18 years old. My parents were in the business, though. Yours weren't. What inspired you to get into the business?
The truth is that I didn't have good grades in high school because I just wanted to work. And when I didn't get into college, I thought I have to do something for myself. I want to get into doing something where I could be my own boss. And I thought, well, I could just go into real estate. I get my real estate license. And so as I was getting my license, I'd go to open houses, talking to other agents. And in the process, I just fell in love with it as a career. So once I got licensed, I began working at Coldwell Banker. And just instantly, I was obsessed with it. It's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to work. And so for those first really 4 to 5 years, I would work 7 days, 10 to 12 hours a day. But it never felt like work. And that's what I loved about it, is that I could see incredible properties, meet people that I would never ordinarily come into contact with, make great clients, friends, connections. It just, the opportunity was limitless.
So when I got my license at 18, I had like a suit that didn't fit real well, and one suit. The other suit was like a disco suit, and these were my dress-up clothes to go show houses in. And I had like a Tom Selleck mustache. You remember Magnum PI? You don't
Please
remember
bring
that.
it back, Dave. Bring it back.
Ferrari, right?
And because I thought it made me look older, right? Because I knew I was just a pup. And I still had trouble getting people to take me seriously because I was so stinking young. Did you run into that?
Oddly, no, but I think a lot of people gave me a chance because I was so young. So starting at 18, and I look young now even. I'm 32 and, I still get like early 20s, or I'm sure I could pass. But I think in that sense, they saw that I was really dedicated to helping them and I would do anything. And that was my advantage, I think, early on, is that I would take the deals no one else wanted to take. And I saw that as my opportunity, that there's all this business out there that isn't worth anyone else's time. But when I'm 18, like earning a few $100 is a big deal for me. And so I would take on that business and I would work 24/7. So if they call me at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll get back to them. I'll pick up the phone. I would pick up the phone if I'm sleeping at night. It didn't matter. I'd respond to emails at midnight. So I would do anything. And I think because of that, people felt comfortable and they knew that I also wasn't sophisticated enough to like ever screw anybody over. So they knew I could never take advantage of them. I couldn't lie to them. I couldn't do anything besides just do my best. And that's what I did.
So how old were you when you bought your first piece of investment property?
21.
21, you bought your first rental house, and you paid cash for it.
Cash.
That means you were making some money as an agent.
Yes. Yeah, I really did my best to save as much money as I could. And, in the beginning, I saved because I didn't know when my next commission was going to be. And so sometimes I would go a few months without earning $1, but I was working like 12 hours a day. And other months, I'd make a lot. And so because I didn't know, I just figured, well, my default should just be saving as much as possible. And I just continued doing that and just focusing on work, but saving. And then when I got to a point, this was 2011, the market had really, I felt, bottomed. And I started noticing some of my clients beginning to buy. Like the smartest guys that I knew began buying real estate. And I had this money saved up and I thought, well, if they're all doing this too, maybe there's something to it. And so I started spending my time, alongside helping clients is, well, now I'm going to look for myself and let me see all these properties and figure out an area that I could buy in. And that's what led to that.
Your YouTube viewers know you as being Frugal Jack. Your co-host says you're cheap. I mean, is all you do is like work and pile up money? I mean, what do you have a life?
I love my work, and that's I would say 90% of the time I just want to work. I don't like sometimes Saturdays. It's hard for me because the market's closed. I love just being involved, like making videos. I love it so much that like that for me is fun. So I don't really feel like I need much other than just being able to work. As far as expenses go, I mean, a lot is discretionary. All you can eat sushi, I would say, is my big treat. Is like
Wow.
$30 all you can eat sushi in Las Vegas.
Notoriously, you don't spend money on coffee. You prefer to make it at home.
Yeah.
You'll use old coffee and put it in the fridge. I bought you some iced coffee this morning because I knew you were struggling, and so that was my donation to you.
Thank you.
But the reason we struck up this friendship was because we reacted to one of your TikTok videos where you were talking about how the best financial move you ever made was living on less than you make. And that has been one of our principles since Dave started 30 years ago. Where does that come from? Why are you not out there living the flashiest of lifestyles, just dropping money left and right?
I think I naturally enjoyed just saving money. It was a weird sort of obsession of mine where I felt like, that was something I had direct control over how much money I was to save. And I took it almost like a challenge to see like, how could I cut back and how could I optimize my spending to get the best bang for the buck? And a lot of that was it was strategic. I would go out for dinner or I could make the dinner at home, and my experience was just as good if I have a friend over, or if I'm going out, I'll get an appetizer instead of an entree because it's just as filling, but it's half the price. So I just find all these little ways to save, and it became a habit, but I enjoyed it. I think part of that was like figuring out, like you asked me earlier what the most frugal thing that I would do, and it was using grocery bags as trash bags.
Instead of spending money on trash bags.
I didn't want to do it because I have the grocery bags. I don't want to waste them. I'm not going to throw them away, and they work just as well. So
And now you're a minimalist. Now it's trendy.
And now it's trendy.
Yeah.
But
Now we gave it. Our friends gave it a name. That's it. So, good stuff. Stephan is our guest this segment. He has one of the top YouTube shows on real estate and finance. Over almost 4 million folks subscribing. Be sure and check him out there on YouTube. And we'll be on a coming episode someday out there that we worked on today, this morning, before we got on the air here. So, rich people are all selfish and greedy, and they only look out for themselves. You ever heard that one?
all the time. All the time. I personally believe that, and not all the time, but just in a broad sense, that people they often make money in proportion to the amount of value they provide. So I've always seen it in terms of how many people I could reach is how much value I'm providing. And a lot of what I talk about is really just living below your means, investing consistently, and thinking of different ways to improve yourself financially. And that's just also what I'm personally obsessed with. So I just talk about things that I am personally doing and find enjoyment in, and try to add an entertaining spin to things.
It's one of our core values here is marketplace service. If you help enough people, you don't have to worry about money. And I don't see any evil in that. Inherently, you seem like a nice guy to me.
Thank you.
So there you go. You got my vote.
I passed the test. Thank you.
But you're helping a lot of young people, especially, who are wanting to build wealth, and they're not wanting to do a job they hate and wait 35 years to have money. Now, part of that leads to a lot of people being broke, right?
Yeah.
How do you kind of guard against that when you're giving advice?
Oh, gosh. I feel like there's a way to do it safely and smartly that's not, like, hypey. I'm personally not the one to, like, risk it all. I'm actually fairly risk adverse, and I really prefer to take a safer approach where I just don't like losing money. So if I can stay away
have that in common, that's for sure.
Yeah, so for me, losing money is so much more painful than making. So I try to steer away from losing, and if we can improve in one way, it's making sure you keep what you have.
Thanks for dropping by, my friend.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Honored to have you with us.
It's an honor to be here.
Stephan, ladies and gentlemen, be sure and check him out on his YouTube channel. You will be visiting him with about 4 million of his closest friends. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. George Camel Ramsey personality, my co-host today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Bridget is with us. Hi, Bridget. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Welcome. Where do you live?
I'm living in Kailua, Hawaii, but originally from New York.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome to Nashville. Bit of a haul from Hawaii to get here.
Yes.
But we're glad you're with us. How much debt did you pay off?
$162,253.19.
Excellent. How long did that take?
20 months and 6 days.
Whoa! You were hauling. What was your average income, or what was your range of income during that time?
$76,000 to $90,000.
Okay.
I know, it doesn't add up.
So you must have sold something.
Well, I did sell a white BMW convertible.
For how much?
For $13,000. And then I also put every COVID stipend and every tax refund that I received between 2020 and 2021 towards all my debt as well. And then I also am active duty military, and so my housing is taken care of for the most part. That was huge.
And you didn't have money in savings or anything that you threw at it?
When I started, I had about 40,000-ish saved. So that kind of got me started. So
you threw that at it as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like everything I had.
Now, between all of that, the math is starting to work
sense.
again. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
It's
Very
impressive.
good. Okay, so you really went radical. I mean, you cleaned out your savings. You took all your COVID money coming at you. You're living with the military on base, no housing cost. You're doing everything to squeeze every drop out of this, and went after it. So what happened 20 months ago that put you on this path?
Well, I had heard about you first in 2012. My mom had bought me the old FPU kit that you guys used to have, and I just carried it around with me and kept it in my closet. I did baby step 1, I did baby step 3, just kind of skipped 2 and ignored it. And then I was a general surgery resident and wound up leaving general surgery. And I was always planning on just having a bigger shovel my whole life, and I was kind of like, I don't know if that bigger shovel is ever going to happen, and I can't wait for that anymore. So I just took that FPU kit down off the shelf, and I went through it in about 9 days instead of 9 weeks.
Wow. And
yeah, I would read the Money Makeover book to my mom out loud as we went through it. But yeah, I got to that point. I just never want to go back to that again, and that gazelle intensity that you always talk about. I just feel like that's the most important thing to paying off debt. And that's what I had, just that feeling inside me that
you
I
were
absolutely
completely,
have to do it.
the numbers tell us you were wide open.
Some instant transformation. Did it hurt getting rid of the BMW convertible? I assume that was like your dream car.
Well, yeah. I mean, actually, it was one of those things that taught me, like, nothing in this world is going to bring you that, like, thing you're looking for. Actually, it was another one of those things that taught me that lesson. But yeah, I love the BMW, but at the same time, this was more important to me. And I had actually called, I had put my name down online for ELP financial coach. And I was actually reading the Bible about Josiah and how the first thing he did was clear out the temple. And he told the priest, like, you have to make sure the money is going to where the work needs to be done. And so I'm sitting there reading about this and being like, I need to do something with my money. And then the guy called me. I just put my name online, and I told him, I need help. You know, I need a financial coach. He's like, you don't need a financial coach. You graduated from medical school. You need to trust yourself. You need to trust Dave Ramsey, and you need to he told me to pay off the BMW. That's what he did. So I paid off the BMW first. I had a $10,000 loan on that. And then a couple of weeks later, I was like, you know what? I need to sell it now. So I sold it for more than I paid off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Josiah coming in the clutch there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It's powerful.
Did you say you're in the military now?
Yeah, so I had done HPSP, it's called the Health Profession Scholarship for med school. And so they paid for med school. So all my loans are not actually medical student loans. They're undergrad, grad, and post-bac. But yeah, I started that in 2013. I was commissioned into the military, and they paid for med school, and now I'm active duty.
Oh, very cool. Thank you for your service.
Yes,
Thank you for your support.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long do you have to be in for the med school to be wiped?
So I have, for med school alone, it's 4 years. But then with the residency and kind of my circuitous route, till 2028 right now. So, yeah.
But someone that's listening that wants to go to med school without any debt, med school debt, can go if they serve 4 years.
Yes, they can. Yeah, I would advise them to listen to you on whether paying back time is equivalent to being in debt. That's something that, but you know, I felt like I wanted to be an officer, you know, and a physician. So it's kind of like I have two careers.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Good for you.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. So
Incredible
what do you
story.
tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
I think it's that gazelle intensity
Yeah.
and getting to that point where you never want to go back to that again, like you always say, and that like gut wrenching, just I can't live like this anymore. I think without that, you just kind of miss that why that you
Amen.
need to get it done.
How does it feel? Does you feel like a weight off your shoulders? You just seem like you could levitate right now.
Yeah, I mean, I had no plan about how I was going to deal with, you know, my whole life. I graduated college in 2007 and had started out 30,000 and then went to graduate school and it got bigger, then did a post-bac and it got bigger, and I didn't know where I was going to start, and I had no clarity. So yeah, and even paying off the debt, it was every day I would wake up and be like, I heard somebody the other day say they wanted to make more payments to get it done. And that's how I was. I just wanted to get it done so badly. And I would count down the days. I had a timeline and when it's going to get paid off. So yeah, now that it's done, I mean, I want to look forward to the next goal, obviously, but I'm so happy that it's over.
So you said you read the Total Money Makeover out loud to your mom. So she's here supporting you.
She is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so talk about having a cheerleader like that in your corner.
It's amazing. She really paved the way for me in my life. She was the one who started the Dave Ramsey principles, and I kind of watched her live them out. That's why I caught on to 1 and 3. And so, yeah, just having her example in my life and then being able to do it together now and encourage each other. And we also coordinate the virtual classes.
Oh, thank you.
online.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so, and we do that together. She's my co-coordinator.
Co-coordinator for Financial Peace University.
Yes. on the
Wow,
virtual
very
classes.
cool. Good
Yeah.
for y'all.
Good mom and daughter time right there.
Yes.
Well spent.
Great
Yes.
tag team.
Yeah.
Great tag team. Well, congratulations. We're proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Good work, and thank you for your service again. Very, very, very well done. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That was the next chapter in your story. How ordinary people built extraordinary wealth, and how you can too. And a copy, are also going to give you a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University. Since you're coordinating, maybe you'll find somebody to give that to.
Yes, absolutely.
And they can go through, and you'll get to watch George and Dr. John Deloney and Rachel Cruz and me in the new videos that came out recently. For that class, it's upgraded considerably, so very well done. And a Total Money Makeover book for you to give away as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for everything. Very well done. And a long trip from Hawaii to get here to do your debt-free scream. All right, it is Bridget from Hawaii. $162,000 paid off in 20 months. That's the whole thing together, baby. I mean, she did it all. Sold the Beamer. Wow. Making 76 to 90 and collected every dollar she could, every nickel out of the corner of the couch. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
Wow! awesome.
My face hurts from smiling. That just never gets old.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Well, there is something magical about having a parent support you when you're an adult in doing something hard like this, because getting out of debt is not easy. It's hard. We never said it was easy. We just said it was worth it. This is The Ramsey Show. Ramsey personality is my co-host. We warned you guys, if you want tickets to attend any of our fall events, you need to get them now. These events have been selling out. Building Wealth San Antonio, November 15th, sold out. There's about 20 tickets left to the second Phoenix night on September the 12th. It is almost sold out. If you want to go to Phoenix, you need to buy your ticket today. Dadgummit, I told you. We sold out the first night. We opened up a second night. Get it done. And we've got a few tickets left to the Minneapolis event, November the 10th. And then Building Wealth for the fall is completely sold out.
Wow.
When that all happens. So we're really, really close on that. We, of course, have the October 22nd Smart Conference. There's tickets available for that. The VIP and the Platinum are already gone on that. And that's in Dallas. And so you get your shot here, folks. October, September in Phoenix. November is Sacramento, Minneapolis, San Antonio. Only they're all sold out except a few in Minneapolis. So, and just a few in that Phoenix September 12th tickets. So good times.
Don't say we didn't tell you.
Yeah.
What happens is someone always messages me the day after we were in Phoenix, says, when are you coming to Phoenix? And we go, oh my gosh, you weren't listening.
How in the world? Yeah, but that happens. It does happen every time.
It's some fun events. We love being on the road again.
We missed you. I missed it. Can you help me? I've been telling you for
palpable.
like 3 months. These tickets were not on sale for 10 minutes. They've been on sale for months. So you need to get your tickets if you want. If you don't want to come, it's okay. But if you want to come, it's going to be George and Dr. John Deloney and Ken Coleman and Rachel Cruz and I, and on Building Wealth. It's a good plan. You want to be there. You don't want to miss this. It's good times. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Brian is with us in Columbus, Ohio. Hey, Brian, what's up?
Hey, Dave. It's a real honor to speak to you. I really appreciate you guys taking my call today. I just want to say real quick, I love the Graham Stephan show also, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on there.
Oh, thanks.
And just a quick Graham shout out. Everybody that's watching right now needs to baby step on that like button.
There you go. He's always talking about hitting that like button.
Yeah, it is funny. So anyways, my question is, I want to want some advice on talking to my wife about doing the baby steps. We are so close to being done with all of the debt other than the house. And I just feel like if we got really intense, we could, like, in 12 months, we could probably knock it all out. The only thing we have any debt on it has wheels. And it's hard to condense 20 years of marriage down into a couple sentences, but I'll just tell you, when we met and she moved in with me, when we got married, I was horrible with money. I mean, my electric was about to be turned off. She put her whole paycheck on the electric bill so we could have electricity. And it's just been a learning experience from there. She's great with money. She's great with, paying the bills and figuring out how to get it done. And I've kind of talked to her about debt snowball and some of the other things that you teach. And I get met with a little bit of resistance, like, hey, I got this. I know what I'm doing. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do, and kind of almost like I don't need your help. I'm very much a take charge kind of guy, and I feel like when I talk to her about this stuff, I feel like she thinks I want to take over, and that's not the case. I have no doubt that
How long have you been
everything
married?
she's doing is 22 years.
Interesting. Is this a control thing? Is she handling the finances right now?
Yeah, she does the finances. I mean, she shows me stuff, but she does the finances primarily.
Well, we need both of you in this thing together, and you need to have a say because this is we.
I know.
And so part of this is that some of the hardest people to get onto the baby steps are those who don't feel like they're struggling with money. They feel like, well, I don't need that's for people who are broke. But what you guys need to do is paint a picture together of what the next 22 years of marriage look like. And that hopefully means no mortgage payment. We're retiring when we want to because we've got a pile of money in the bank and we don't owe anyone anything.
So, what if we, I don't know. I think you just sit down and say, I deserve, based on my behavior in the past, for you to not listen to me about money. But, and I'm sorry for that, but I have been learning about this stuff, and it has been 22 freaking years. And so we, what I'm reading and what I'm learning about, and don't say Dave Ramsey said, whatever you do, don't say that. Okay. Turn my name into a cuss word in your house. But just say, the stuff I'm reading, the data says that couples that work together on their money, you're obviously, honey, you're more administratively minded than I am, and you actually executing a plan that we've both agreed to would be the best plan. But me not having any say or input into this is not good for our communication, and we're limiting our potential. I don't want to come in here because I think you're bad at this. I want to come in here so that we're working together.
Right.
Because you don't think she's bad at it.
No, not at all. I mean, she's gotten us where we are. I mean, I can attribute it. I mean, I've done a lot of hard work, but she's done all the stuff behind the scenes. With the financial aspect of it and stuff.
So I don't think you're bad at this, but the data says among millionaires that our probability of winning in money and an increased quality of relationship is much better if we work together. And that does not mean that you've been doing it poorly. It just means that we're both going to talk about this, and then you're going to go execute what we've both agreed to. And that's what we need to talk about doing. Because
she recently changed jobs. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You're fine.
She recently changed jobs back to a place that she was working at before, so she's making more money. And I kind of got her to agree to, hey, let's sit down and look at what our income is and what our bills are and all that stuff. So I kind of got her to agree to that. She goes, let me get, in the job and do that. And, we'll take a look at it and all that stuff. I'm just,
Well, once you've laid out a budget and both of you are agreeing to it and both of you can speak into it, then that opens up the possibility for other conversations. Because here's the deal. Jesus said your treasure's where your heart is. And when you can agree on where your money's going before it leaves, and then she writes the checks out or she does the bill pay or whatever it is, when you are in agreement about where your money's going, what you're saying is we've agreed on our value system. We've agreed on our fears. We've agreed on our dreams. We've agreed on the floor plan of the house we're going to build. You don't think the bedroom's going to be over there, and I think it's going to be over here. We're in agreement on what the house of our life looks like. And that agreement... That's why so many people that go through Financial Peace University come back and say it saved our marriage. It's not a marriage class, but we force you to work together because it's practical and it forces a level of communication on life's most important things. Where the money flows to it's not the money that's important, but where it flows to says what's important. You can read through Larry Burkett used to call it the checkbook test. Read through somebody's checkbook, you can tell what's important to them. And it's like FanDuel. Okay, you have a sports betting problem, huh? Okay, or it says whatever. It says target. Okay, you got a problem with the big red target over there. It's eating your lunch. I mean, where you put money, where you spend your money, where you spend your time is a statement of who you are as a person.
Your heart. Yeah. So, Brian, I'm going to gift you Financial Peace University. My hope is that she's at least willing to watch those videos with you. I hope it creates some shared common language and gives you guys a vision for where you want to go, because right now it feels like we're just maintaining, but we're not going anywhere. And I want you guys to head in the same direction. And so hang on the line. Austin's going to pick up, and we're going to gift you 1 year of Financial Peace University, and you can go through those 9 video lessons with her. And I hope that gets her on the plan. And if she's math-minded, do some math and show her how much money you're throwing away at interest. Show her what those payments could be if they stayed in your bank account and what you could do with that as a couple.
Yeah, that's the second stage after the first stage of first thing is we're first going to agree that we're going to agree.
That's a hard place to get to.
And if you start there, then you get to have a whole lot of other discussions around it. It's good stuff. Hey, man, thanks for calling in. Good question. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Our thanks to James, Andrew, Zach, Ben, and Austin in the booth dudes. They make it happen. This is the Ramsey Show.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they actually love, and create amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Josh is with us in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Josh. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I'm 26 years old, and I'm actually about to start a new job in a new city. I've been living in apartments for the last 3 years. I've been working, and I really like the lifestyle. I'm not really in a rush to be in a house, but I do know that I need to start thinking about saving up for a down payment. So I'm trying to decide exactly how aggressively I should be saving cash versus investing into retirement.
Are you out of debt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fully funded emergency fund?
I just finished baby step 3.
Okay, so you're there.
Sir.
Are you investing yet?
Yep. Yes, I've been getting my full match with my employer, and also maxing my Roth and HSA.
And that puts
so
you
I
at
have
15?
a pretty decent head start.
Does that put you at 15%?
Yeah, a little bit over 15.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd scale that back down to 15 and then begin saving up cash for that house and put that in a high yield savings account somewhere. You don't need to invest it unless this is going to be 5+ years out. But it sounds like you're wanting to get in a house sooner than that.
What's your game plan on getting in a house? What do you think?
So I'm single right now, and I'm not really interested in buying a home. Before I'm married, I do have plans to get married in the next 10 years or so. But like I said, I'm really in no rush. If I could guess right now, I'd say anywhere between 5 and 7 years, I'd like to be really thinking about being in a home.
Yeah. I'm with George, and I would lock it in at 15% of your income into retirement, and I would start saving aggressively above that. And you can just pile it up for right now, and let's just stack cash. Because it doesn't sound like that you have selected the young lady or she has selected you yet.
That's right.
Okay.
That's accurate, yeah.
It's kind of a vague concept at this point.
What's your income?
I'm at 110.
Awesome.
Yeah. So point being that this could flip. This whole environment could change rather quickly.
Right, and that's kind of exactly my thought going into it, which is why part of me wants to, have a little more than just my emergency fund in cash. But
I would pile up as much cash above your emergency fund, above your 15% going into retirement as you can. You can't really save too much cash. in that situation because, you've got it out there somewhere in the future. I'd like to be married if I've met the right person and so forth. That's a good general sentiment. But, when you meet the right person, you might be married a few months later. That could happen. And by the next time I talk to you this time next year, you could be married and looking for a house. I don't know. That wouldn't be that unusual, by the way. So
I would set a specific goal and not just make it, I'm just going to save up money. I would say I'm going to aim to save up $20,000 this year. I'm going to aim to save up $20,000 the next year. 5 years, I'll have $100,000. Mm-hmm. That helps you have a game plan instead of just hoping money gets saved.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to have a set amount that you're going for above the 15% and above the emergency fund. That's exactly what I would do. Hey, good question. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George is with us in Monroe, Louisiana. Hi, George. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Good. How can we help?
Dave, well, briefly, I own 25% in a house. I've been living here alone for 16 years. There's 4 siblings. I'm one of the 4. 2 will allow me to buy them out. The 4th one refuses to sell, and she says she's moving in January. She refuses to work. My question, how can I prevent her from moving in, if possible at all, if I own 3/4 at the time? Now, I don't at this point. And number 2, how can I force her to sell her part to me, or is it possible to do that?
I don't know a mechanism that you can force her to sell. You could take the situation to court and ask the court to solve this. 90% of the time, what's going to happen is they're going to force the sale of the house and split the money.
Yeah, I assumed that the judge would not force her to sell her part to me.
Correct.
Correct.
But he would force the dissolution of the partnership if any one of the partners wanted it dissolved. And the only way to liquidate it is to sell the house and split the money 4 ways.
Yeah, it gets kind of complicated. My 2 siblings, I have $50,000 cash to pay them, but I've got a 401k with plenty of money. But I'm not going to borrow from that, nor am I going to cash it in. So I assumed that I would be able to get a bank loan. I don't understand how that works in a sale. If I purchased it myself in the sale, I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah. If it went up for sale due to the judge's order, a court-ordered dissolution of partnership assets, then you could obviously be one of the bidders at that sale. And you just go get a mortgage and buy the house.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't have the cash money, but the bank.
I said a mortgage.
Front me. Okay. Well, the bank would front me the money for a bid on the house, right? Because
if it's an auction, if it's a cash auction, you'd have to have that set up. Yeah.
Set up. Okay. That's what I.
So what your next step is? You don't need to screw around with this one day more. This is obviously a toxic situation. You need to go see an attorney today.
Yeah, I just called one today, and he's supposed to get back with me on this to see what we can do. I want to try to get my other 2 siblings who are in sale, get the paperwork done, and also get the paperwork done for the 4th one. She keeps changing her mind back and forth, so I'll at least have it ready.
Yeah, she's a manipulative game player.
Well,
this threat to move in is a game.
Yeah, and I probably can't stop her from doing it. It would not.
Yeah,
be
you
good.
can. You can if you file an action that's going to force the sale.
Oh, okay, that's the way to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think she would be one of the bidders looking to buy it?
No, she ain't any money.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't have any money.
She doesn't work.
Just very brief. No, she doesn't work. She sold a house in Dallas 5 years ago for $225,000. She moved here. I told her you need to get a job and pay cash for a house. Well, she said I don't want to work. So she's been living on that $225. Now she's down to $80, and she started getting worried about it. However, she's going on a $2,000 vacation here in another week.
Yeah.
So
what I would do is talk to an attorney, and here's the way this is probably going to go down. Okay, the attorney's going to tell you that you could file as a part of the lawsuit to keep her from living there until the house is liquidated. Because it's a toxic situation. Then you can go to her and say, I'm getting ready to file this motion with the court, a forced liquidation of the house that will simultaneously prevent you from moving in. Now, this is going to happen. You're not moving in, and the house is going to be sold. Would you like me to buy you out instead? And you can force her hand on that. And then she's going to sign the deed, and you're going to hand her a check, and she's going to go away. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
George Camel Ramsey personality is my co-host today.
So at this very moment, every person watching, listening to the show has got a different purpose and goal in life. Maybe you want to find your ideal dream career, you want to cut up the credit cards and work your way to building wealth. Well, it starts with you saying enough is enough, and we got to do something about this.
So this is why we brought back the Ramsey $10 sale on our number one best-selling books. But this sale ends at the end of the month, 2 days.
Not a lot of time left, folks. And you know what else ends in 2 days, Dave? The Ramsey Cash giveaway. That's a part of this. So if you want to jumpstart your journey here, you can enter that for your chance to win the grand prize of $3,000. And there's only 2 days left. Don't miss this.
So 2 days to take advantage of the Ramsey $10 sale. Most of our best-selling books are on sale for $10 each. That's a bargain. So you get 10 of them for $100. I mean, that's what
I'm stocking up for Christmas.
No inflation increases.
Wow.
Look at that.
It's not $10.84. It's still $10.
There you go. That's exactly how that works. You know, we should do an inflation adjusted price, but we didn't. So there you go. Hey, check it all out. And the Ramsey Cash giveaway, grand prize of $3,000. 2 days left. No purchase necessary for that. You got to be 18 or older to win. RamseySolutions.com. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why they are the number one online retailer of custom window coverings with free samples, free shipping, and new promos that they run every month. You'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Jeff in Alaska. He says, I'm currently on baby step 3 and my gross income is $100K. I have very little debt other than the $125K left on my mortgage. I recently reviewed my union's insurance plan and realized the disability coverage is lower than it should be. Where in the baby steps should I look at upping this coverage, or should I wait until step 7 to think about insurance? Well, you're right. The baby steps don't exactly cover insurance. It's a part of protecting what you're building along the way. And Dave, when it comes to disability insurance, especially through your employer, what is the stance on where that would fall?
Well, I don't know what their coverage is or why he doesn't think it's enough. Most of it is, 65, 70% of your pay, which is equivalent to your take-home pay a lot of times. So it's probably not that far off. I don't know why he doesn't feel like he's got adequate coverage through the union. I don't know what their deal is. But buying supplemental disability is, depending on what you do for a living, it's not necessarily a good deal. So I might just approach this from a different angle and say, okay, since I don't have coverage that makes me comfortable, what I do need to offset that is a big pile of money. And so I'd go about getting a big pile of money more than I would worrying about buying supplemental disability insurance. But you're right. No insurance is a baby step. Insurance of any kind is you need to look at what you need and appropriately get that. You need renter's insurance if you're a renter that covers your contents for fire and theft. You obviously buy a home, you need homeowners insurance. You buy an automobile, you need automobile insurance, obviously.
Health
right?
insurance.
Health insurance you need day one. That needs to be part of your budget. All of these things are part of
Pretty
your budget.
much all of them except long-term care, which we recommend at 60 plus.
Yep. Life insurance. You need, once you have people that are counting on you for your income,
Spouse,
you have
kids.
dependents. You're a spouse, you got kids, all these kinds of things. So, yeah, that's what you're looking at. And disability insurance for that matter. But you've got disability insurance, you just don't feel like it's adequately covered. So let's say that it covers 50% of your income, of your take-home pay. And you feel like that's not enough because you're accustomed to 70 to 80% of or 50% of your gross. And so, what you would do is offset that with a little bit higher emergency fund and, making sure your other long-term investments, your retirement investments are full. Because if you got $500,000 in your 401k and, you had a disability event and you only got 50% of coverage, you're okay. You'll be all right. Financially, anyway. You'll be okay. That's what we're concerned about here. So you offset that risk with something else like money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. CJ is in Chattanooga. Hi, CJ. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Doing well. My question is, should we use the potential student loan reimbursement program to pay off our house? I had 2 or 3 student loans that we paid off in December 2020. It looks like they may qualify potentially. We'll see how it all pans out. But should I do that?
What's left on the mortgage?
About $30,000.
And how much do you think you would get if you got the forgiveness?
Probably about 6 or 8. If it's up to 10, we'll have to see exactly what the requirements are for the reimbursement program.
So this isn't going to clear the mortgage. You just are saying, should we apply it to the mortgage?
Mm-hmm. Well, we also have about $20,000 in savings that we could use to pay off the house as well. That's not including our emergency fund.
Oh, awesome. Why aren't you using the $20,000 today to pay down the mortgage?
I have my first child coming September 23rd. So we're
congrats.
Cash just in case. Thank you.
Smart. Yeah, that makes sense. And I've been kind of tracking this to see what's happening, and it looks like the student loan providers, servicers, are not writing checks. What they're doing is reinstating the balance back to $10,000 and then saying, all right, good luck. Hope the government clears that balance. So that's what's actually happening right now, as far as I can tell.
But he's talking about ones he's already paid off.
That's what they're saying.
They would cut him a check.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been seeing is if you already paid it off during the pause, they're saying you can get a refund according to the U.S. Department of Education. But the refund doesn't actually, there's no checks being cut. Their student loan servicers are saying your balance is 0. We're going to put it back to 10, and then the government can forgive that 10, hopefully.
Wow.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
I know, but
where's the money go? He wouldn't get a check that way.
There would be. I don't know how that's going to pan out.
That's not logical. Well,
that's the government for you.
I'm sorry. I just applied logic to the federal government.
That is a report from someone who contacted their student loan servicer.
Excuse me, Lord. Forgive me, Jesus. Yeah. Okay. No. That's not right, George. Something's wrong.
I hope not.
Well, I mean, that's not because that way the student loan lender would get the money.
Yeah, the question is, where is this money? How are people going to get this money back if they've already paid? And we don't know yet.
He's thinking he's getting a check if he applies for it.
Have you contacted your student loan servicer?
Not yet.
They don't know. I mean, nobody knows anything.
It's all hearsay at this point.
It's all what might happen if this crap goes through, and if it's declared legal instead of being an executive order which, by the way, there's this thing called the Constitution that's kind of in the way, and there's going to be lawsuits stopping this, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I wouldn't worry about it, CJ, until it happens, because it might not, and. I've already caught enough crap on this subject nationally. There's an entire parade of Dave Ramsey haters out there because I told people I think this whole thing is absolutely horrendous and bogus. I'm happy for people who get their loans forgiven, but when you take $300 billion, 300,000 million of other people's debt and put it on the back of the taxpayers is just immoral as hell. And while you're continuing to make the loans, which is dishonest, if you keep making the loans, it's intellectually dishonest. So I'm sitting here, I'll just be very open, okay? I'm sitting here trying to put CJ's shoes on and walk in them and say, what would I do if I was in his shoes? And I'm having trouble doing it. And that's not to slam you, CJ, but I'm having trouble doing it because I think this whole thing is so bogus that to actually receive the check from this as like some kind of government benefit after I've already paid off my loans, it just makes me want to puke. It makes me want to throw up. I got a little throw up in my mouth right now. And so it just, it just makes my blood boil.
I'd continue on with the baby steps.
There's so much wrong with it. And there's a part of me, CJ, that says you already paid off your loan. You ought to just keep moving with your life, dude. There's a part of me that says that inside. I understand the other side of it. I get it intellectually. I'm just being a bit emotional. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Lena is with us. Hi, Lena. How are you?
Hi, Dave.
Welcome. Where do you live?
I live in Frederick, Maryland.
Oh, welcome to Nashville. Good to have you here. And so how much debt have you paid off?
$53,500.
All right. And how long did this take you?
28 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
I started with $76,000, and by the end of last year, it was around $87,000.
Good for you. What do you do for a living?
So I currently work in management for Southwest Airlines, and also part of this journey has been picking up as many side gigs as I have been able to in order to complete this journey.
Cool. We do a lot of stuff with Southwest. It's a good company.
Yep.
So very, very cool.
Very proud.
What are your side gigs that you did? What's the best one? One that made you the most money?
Well, the one that helped me the most was a brand marketer. So I helped several brands, including wellness products and spirits and wines, promote their beverages, and and awesome. Personal training. I took up a personal training gig as well because it's very exciting to help people improve their lives.
Wow, very cool. Good for you. What kind of debt was the $54,000?
So I had about $37,000 of student loan and $8,000 of credit card, and another $8,000 remaining on my BMW car.
Ah, of course. Okay, very cool. So what happened to you 28 months ago that started this whole following the Ramsey way thing?
Well, I had a friend at work at Southwest that a long time ago, she had posted something about Dave Ramsey and your Total Money Makeover that impacted me in some way. But I don't think that when I saw that post, I was ready to make those changes. it wasn't until a few years later that I met my fiance, Johnny, that he really lives by what you preach. He talks about Dave Ramsey this, Dave Ramsey that, the baby steps. And he watches your show daily, and it inspired me to learn more. And I talked to him about my goals and the things that I wanted to accomplish. I moved from Venezuela when I was really young. So long story short, I was born here, moved to Venezuela when I was 7, and came back at the age of 19, ready for college. So that was like the beginning of my journey with debt. I didn't know what I was doing, so I signed up for a loan that I obviously couldn't pay off because I didn't have the right job to pay for it. And then everything trickled from there. So Johnny knew about my story and he wanted to help, so he bought me the book. And through the pandemic, I just felt like it was the perfect time to really focus on what you really wanted, because there was nothing else to be worried about it. And while everybody else was
very few distractions.
Yes, very few distractions. I just used this time to kind of like hit the reset button and really focus and not let anything get on the way.
That's awesome. He sounds like a keeper. And it sounds like you're keeping him around. So that's great. You guys have a wedding date?
Yes, March 25th.
All right.
That is awesome. And you're starting it debt-free.
Yes.
I assume he's debt-free as well. If he's been following this stuff.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So what was the hardest part for you? Was there a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this is brutal?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not easy. It's almost, it felt like an identity crisis, because you have like this lifestyle and you have this cool things that you like to do, and you like to like, I work in the airline industry and I was a flight attendant for a very long time, so it becomes normal to travel and do cool things with your friends and all that. But in reality, you can't really afford that travel, because it's not only the airfare, you now have to pay to stay there and do all the other cool things that you want to do when you're traveling. So it was just more of like that adjustment, of that reality check of like, hey, I can't really do these things that I think are okay of doing. Like, I really have to change my ways and not really worry at all about what other people think. Because the thing is, I think that's the hardest part. You just have to feel like you have to explain to people why you're doing the things that you're doing and break free from that. I think for me, that was the hardest part. And obviously we get into this situation because you're not disciplined. So getting the discipline to just stick to what you're doing and plan and strategize how you're going to do it. Like for me, I knew that with my salary alone, I wasn't going to be able to make that happen. So how much more do I need every month in order to complete those payments? I actually wanted to pay it off in 24 months, but that was a little hard. It took me a little bit longer than 24, but close enough.
So what do you tell people the absolute key to getting out of debt is?
Well, the key would be to know that it's going to be really hard, that you are going to encounter a lot of bumps along the road, and that you just have to be true to yourself, true to your goal, and think and honestly like revamp your value system. You just have to change your values. Like the things that were important to you before, they can't continue to be important, because then you're really not going to make it. And just go from there. I think if you remind yourself every morning what you are, like what your goal is, and just focus, like write things down. I love to write things down in a journal, and then I have a board in my bedroom that I write the things that I need to remind myself for that week.
Cool. We're proud of you, hero. Well done.
Thank you.
Very, very well done. I know he's proud of you. He's sitting over cheering you on. Life is good. And we're proud of him, too, because he helped you. This is great. It's a great handoff.
Love it.
Good work. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's
awesome.
The next chapter in your story for sure, to go on and become millionaires as a newly married couple starting next March. And Financial Peace University, a 1-year membership to that as well. And if you guys haven't been through that, you can go through it together as a premarital thing. It's a really good premarriage class, and as a part of your overall premarriage anyway work. And a copy of Total Money Makeover, which you've already got. That means you can give this one away. So that's perfect. So good stuff. Very, very, very well done. I'm so proud of you. Good work. All right, Lena from Frederick, Maryland, $54,000 paid off in 28 months, making 76 to 87. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
I'm debt-free.
done.
I love that. She upgraded her values. She used to value other people's opinion of her, and now she values freedom and not owing anyone anything.
That's good.
That's a worthy upgrade in values right there.
Good insight. Very good insight. Yeah, there is something that happens in transformation that has to occur for you. You know, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity. So this transformation idea is that it is more than simply a mathematical activity to get out of debt. The heart has to change. And that's what happened.
Got to start caring about different things. And it's a superpower to not care what people think in America today. That is one of the keys to building wealth.
If you have that and common sense, you're
goodness.
a bona fide superhero.
And a unicorn at that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But that is exactly what we need in America today.
Yeah.
People of character with common sense who don't care what other people think.
There you go.
That's a magical formula.
Yeah. And I will share that you can go too far with the not caring what other people think. And I
want you to shower and have good hygiene and not be a jerk.
Because I just truly don't care, and I really need to care a little bit.
It's worked for you so far, Dave.
I know, but I need to care a little bit. It's kind of unkind at some point, and it's just it's like I just truly don't give a rip, and it's a bit of a problem. I need to be a little nicer. So.
That's what makes you Dave. That's why we love you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it was. That's the whole definition of Dave. That's it. It's that simple. Thanks, George.
I'm here to make you feel good.
Good job, Lena. Good work. Good work. Good work. Well done.
Awesome.
This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Rick is with us. Rick is in Austin, Texas. Hi, Rick. How are you?
Hi, Dave and George. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve, sir. What's up?
Well, I just wanted to call and say thank you because it makes a huge difference when you purchase a vehicle in cash versus all the other ways I've done it over the years. So thank you, Dave.
Well, you're welcome. So you bought a car in cash?
Yes, sir, I did.
What'd you buy?
We had a trade-in, my wife and I. It was a Subaru Ascent, 2022, so a brand new one. We made sure we met the guidelines that you usually lay out for that, but we went in, we purchased a car, and spent less time than I've ever spent buying a car in my entire life, which was fantastic.
Wow. So are you guys Baby Steps millionaires?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness. That's fantastic.
Way to go, Rick.
How long have you been doing this this journey, following our stuff?
My wife and I have been married for 10 years. I've been on the program probably for about 15.
That's awesome.
That's
living it out.
That's a perfect timing. It fits the guide. I mean, it fits the standard case study of the millionaires, the Baby Steps millionaires that we wrote about in Baby Steps Millionaires, the book, because it shows people exactly how Rick did what he did, and people like him. So, way to go, Rick! That's awesome, man.
Love hearing that.
Congratulations. We're proud of you. Good work. Spencer's with us in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Spencer. How are you?
Good. Hey, Dave. How George? How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So my wife and I, we just had our first baby about a week and a half ago.
Oh, congratulations. What'd you have?
Thank you. It's a girl, little girl. So we're trying to get set up to start putting money away to save for college and just trying to think through the best way to do that. So I'm familiar with 529 plans, but it seems like there's a lot of different options out there for 529. And then I just wasn't sure if there was any other type of account that might be a better alternative.
No, 529 is about the best thing there is, but you're right, there is a bunch of options. The only option you want is the kind where you select the type of mutual funds that go in it, each individual fund, and it does not change unless you change it. It's not on autopilot of any kind.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and if you got that with one of our SmartVestor pros, they can help you line those things up. And, generally I just dump it into a simple growth stock mutual fund. But what you don't want to get into is one of these things where they move the funds around as the kid gets older without it's kind of an autopilot thing. It's hypothetically lower risk, but it ends up being a stupid move.
Kind of like a target date fund in retirement. So you don't want that. But there's a lot of state-specific ones, and you can choose one from a lot of states. So your SmartVestor Pro can help you choose the best one for what you're trying to do, which is awesome.
Okay. And so the 529 is going to be better than just like standard mutual funds. I mean, I guess I was thinking if she doesn't end up going to college, is that money going to be tied up, versus just putting it in typical mutual funds?
Well, any type of furthering her education. I mean, if she goes to tech school, you can use it. And listen, you don't need to. I'm just going to be grandpa for a second. Train your child to be a continuous learner.
Yeah.
Post high school, doing zero education of any kind is not a good idea. You're going to be at a huge disadvantage in the marketplace. So by God, learn something somewhere. If you're not doing higher education, that's fine. So quote college, but there needs to be some kind of a track that involves education because, like for instance, I'll tell you, if we're interviewing someone to work at Ramsey for a leadership role and we say, hey, what books have you read recently? And they say, I haven't, interview's over. I don't need people in here who aren't learning and growing and getting better. I read like crazy because I'm an idiot on some things. I don't know what's going on. I have to read a book about it, right? And so, I've learned more post-education from books and classes and so forth than I did when I was in education.
Yeah.
Or when I was going through getting a 4-year degree. So you don't want to just get the school of hard knocks because the knocks are harder if you don't know where to dodge.
And the other option for you is the ESA, the Education Savings Account. Those are the only two I'd recommend for college saving. And I would rather have too much money for college than not enough. You can always change the beneficiary on that. And if she gets a scholarship, you can withdraw from the account for that amount. So there's a lot of options here. So I would just go ahead and save. And we don't know what the cost of college is going to do. Probably skyrocket now with this forgiveness and everything they're doing with income-based repayment. So I'd go ahead and start saving now.
Yeah, there is a lot. Thanks for the call, man. You're right. That's an opinion piece I saw the other day. Actually, Deloney found it.
I read that one. It's mind-boggling.
That the forgiveness is going to cause a further increase in tuition.
Yay.
Because part of the forgiveness program that's proposed, if it comes through, if it actually happens, is that the rest of the balance can be done as a percentage of your income for the rest of your life. And so just pay them for the rest of your life.
At 5 or 10% of your income.
Isn't that dumber than crud?
Yes. That's just because then colleges are going, well, we can charge $400,000.
Why? If you're so stupid that you did that, how'd you get out of college? I mean, if you're so dumb, you sign up for that program. How'd you get out of school in the first place? The whole thing baffles me. It just baffles me. The stupidity on parade. The island of misfit toys doing a dance. It's unbelievable. All right, let's see here. Hey, Luke is in Virginia. Hey, Luke, what's up?
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
So I learned financial peace in high school. As a result, I have no student loan debt. I have no credit card debt. The only thing I owe any man is I was in a motorcycle accident a couple years ago, and so I have a few $1,000s, maybe $3,000 in medical debt. I just settled with the insurance company for $900,000 because it almost took my leg. They told me if a car was going to hit me, it should be this one because it was insured by a major corporation and it was a business car. And so my question to you is, as somebody with no debt, and who is on, I believe, baby step 5, a point of saving money for kids for college, and I don't have kids yet. I'm not married yet. should I invest the $900,000 in mutual funds, or given the volatility of the potential recession or the recession we're in right now, should I consider other investment options with that $900,000?
Good Lord. How you doing?
I have a metal rod in my leg, and it'll be there for the rest of my life. But I have a personal goal of being able to run a 5K, and I got to 3 miles last night. So I'm not going to sit around and mope about it. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make a bad situation as good as I can.
Man, wow, $900,000. How old are you?
26.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
And do you own a home?
No, I rent.
Okay. All right. What do you do for a living? Or, no, what do you make? What do you make? What's your income?
I make $110,000 a year, and then I have a small business on the side that brings in about $20,000, so around $130,000 a year.
And I take it you're single.
Yes, but I plan to be married within the next year. Be purchasing a ring as part of the settlement.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to rattle this off real fast. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You are a candidate for losing all of this money because you've never handled the money of this type before.
Yep.
So I want you to not, number one, don't put money in anything you don't understand. If that means you just put it in a savings account, forget it. That's fine. High yield savings account, put it in 3 different banks, forget it. That's fine. Okay. Number two, were you dating her before all this happened?
No.
Get a prenup.
Okay.
Number 3, you need to put a group of people in your corner that become your board of directors to help advise you. Insurance, number 1, a good insurance broker that can help you with insurance. Number 2, you need a good investment professional. Get a SmartVestor Pro in your corner. Number 3, you need a good real estate agent in your corner because you probably need to buy a house that she helps you pick, because she's going to be living there. And if you buy the house without her, you're going to buy the wrong one. So you need to get a good real estate agent. And have yourself a board of directors, a board of advisors that teach you all these different components of handling that amount of money well. And then you'll make good, slow, careful, wise decisions. There you go. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Entree Leadership Podcast, is my co-host today. This hour is an Entree Leadership Theme Hour, which means we are going to talk about business, leadership, and particularly small business, if you want to talk about it. Entree Leadership is a book that I did several years ago that was our playbook, and still is our playbook, for how we run this business. It's got all our Super Bowl plays in it, how we won the Super Bowl, how we've grown this from a card table in my living room to today about 1,200 team members and a major national brand. The word Entree Leadership is one we made up. It's a combination of entrepreneurship and leadership.
Who came up with that? That's clever. Was that you?
Underhand pitch. Yeah, look at you.
I have no idea, truthfully, where it
You
came
really
from.
don't?
I don't know the story.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, when I was sitting down to think about, I originally taught the material to our team, people that wanted to wanted to grow inside of our business. I was trying to grow our leadership development, trying to grow leaders inside the business. And I didn't want a leadership class because I was in management class in college, taught by a tenured professor who had never made payroll. And when I hear the word leadership, sometimes I get a little twitch because I kind of remember management class.
Takes you back.
But real leadership, I don't have an issue with, but it just kind of reminded me of that. And so I didn't want to just say, this is our leadership handbook. I didn't want to do that. And I didn't really want just entrepreneurs, because we entrepreneurs are all a little bit ADD, and every little shiny thing, we're like a bass. We go after everything that's shiny. It's like squirrel, right? I mean, you get that thing. And so I didn't, because managing a whole building full of those people would be like trying to nail Jello to a tree. So had no desire to do that. But I did want the energy of the entrepreneur and the sophistication of the leader, the servant attitude of the leader. So we combined them. Entree leadership, entrepreneurship, and leadership, entree leadership. That's where it comes from. So open phones. If you want to talk about business this hour, this is your time. George is here. He has interviewed a bazillion business experts on the podcast, and so can jump in and help as well on this. The phone number here, 888-825-5225. Joe is in Charlotte to start us off this hour. Hey, Joe, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. I just want to start out by saying, it's such an honor to be on air with you. You've helped me guide my life through FBU and Entree Leadership from the very beginning. So
cool.
Just super grateful for that.
Thank you.
So I just want to start out with, so I have about 10 team members in my company. We're in diesel truck and trailer repair out of the Charlotte, North Carolina area. We're in the Pathfinder stage. I'm getting ready to roll out our mission, vision, and core values to the team.
Good.
So my question is, how do I go about doing that to create the most buy-in from everybody, and so that way it's just get it kicked off from the very beginning in the most efficient way?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't instill core values as a boss. You have to do it as a leader. Bosses push and leaders pull. And so pull means persuasion instead of wagging your finger, right? And so, here's our core values. This is who we are. And this is how I teach it at Ramsey. The Ramsey team will tell you, I say this all the time. If you want to be a we, this is who we are. If you're not this, you're not a we. Meaning, get your butt out, right? That's what we're saying. This is who we are. And so this, we're French. Oui, right? This is us. And so this is us. And so, what is one of your core values as an example, Joe?
Dignity in our work.
Okay. And that's not a aspirational, meaning it's not what you wish. It is instead actually who you are.
Okay.
Right? I mean, sometimes corporate America in particular, which is really bad about worried about optics and their virtue signaling and all this other crap that they do instead of actually getting their work done. But corporate America is real bad about, here's our core value, which means that's what they wish they were. That's aspirational. We aspire to be that. We hope to be that. And our core values at Ramsey, we didn't do that. We wrote down who we are. And then anybody that's not that is not a we. And so dignity in our work. And so, and you said you guys are what, diesel mechanics? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so if you look down on diesel mechanics as beneath you, and you don't see that as work that matters, you don't see that as a work that has dignity, then you're not a we. Because I own this place, and I see this as a calling. I see it as a great service that we provide to some of the hardest working Americans. People on the other side of a diesel are generally some of the hardest working people you're going to run into, right?
Yes, sir.
And keeping them on the road and keeping them in the field and keeping them operating is a mission with dignity. And if you can't really get excited about that, I probably messed up when I brought you in here, and I'm so sorry. I owe you an apology, because this is who we are. I believe this has dignity. I believe this is work that matters, because we're keeping some of the hardest working, most productive people on the planet engaged because we keep their stuff running. And if you can't get dignity out of that, man, I mean, you don't love hardworking people. And instead, you just think you're some kind of grease monkey. I don't need you in here, man. And that's how I would do it from the stage at Ramsey, wouldn't I, George?
Joe, I wish Dave could just go over there and do it for you. But you're the leader, buddy. And I know you're like, well, I'm not the You got to care. And so you can't just read this off a slide like you're just communicating some information. You have to show your passion and know that this is just level setting. You're setting a foundation. This is not the first and last time they're going to hear these core values. You have to.
I do.
We talk about it all the time.
We do them a couple times a month in staff meeting. We're doing one of them again. And people go, well, I've been here 20 years. I've heard you do that a whole bunch of times. Yep, you're going to hear it again, too. Because we talk about it all the time. If you don't repeat it, it's not going to happen. You don't get to make one announcement, Joe, and this is over. This is just the first of 8,000 announcements you're going to make regarding this.
And then you're going to live it out day in and day out. And you're going to let the culture build with the team as they live it out. That's how this stuff sticks.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense? Yeah, I think and you can explain to them, this is not who we wish we were. This is who I am, and in a small business, who you are is the DNA of the place. So this is our values, and I think that what you guys do and what we do at this company is important. I think it's work that matters. I think it has great dignity, and so if you can't get on board with that, then it's not gonna work out here for you. And you don't have to threaten them with that on the first day you announce it, but you're just going to start to describe, this is who we are, this is who we are, this is who we are. And don't be shocked if one or two of the 10 someday decides that they're not that. And as a country friend of mine says, you ain't gonna fit in around here, boy. This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Entre Leadership Podcast, is my co-host today. We're taking calls this hour on Entre Leadership. Business questions, small business questions, leadership questions. Thank you for joining us, America. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Cindy is in Boston. Hi, Cindy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you. How can I help?
Okay, so my question is, how do I hire when everyone applying is looking for wages much higher than ever before and out of our comfort zone, also looking for benefits that we've never accommodated before, including longer vacation, sick time, retirements, etc.?
Yeah. Small business has never been able to compete with corporate America on benefits packages.
Right.
And so, like when we had 30 employees, we said our benefit package consisted of your check's going to clear. We didn't have, back in those days, we didn't have health insurance. We didn't have squat. But what we did have was you actually were going to be eating lunch with the CEO every day because there wasn't that many of us, right? We all fit at one table. And what we did have was you're going to be treated with dignity and you're going to be treated like family. And you're going to have a whole different kind of environment than working in stupid corporate America that's lost its soul. And so you're from an employee standpoint, you're in a much better environment without all the crazy optic virtue signaling garbage in corporate America. If you want to be in that world, head on over there, baby. I don't want nothing to do with those people. And if you want to work for them, you're actually not the kind of people we want anyway. So we brand differentiated by the quality of the culture, the quality of the environment, not by the benefits package. And as a matter of fact, today with 1,200 team members, we don't try to compete with huge companies, whatever policy that they have. I don't even want to get into it. We're not going to do it. We're just going to be us. And if you want to work here, you're working here because the work matters, because it's a big deal to be working on something that changes people's lives. And we're going to pay reasonably. We're going to pay competitively. But if you want 8 weeks of vacation, we're not about how much vacation you have. We're about how much work you do, including me, by the way. Hello, I work. And so, but if you want, if they come in and right off the bat, the thing they're concerned about is the benefits package, you don't want to hire them anyway, because they're there for what they can get rather than what they can add. And so it's always a problem. Now, what we do have that we're facing, and that is a legitimate thing, is the wage issue. The cost to hire somebody has gone up dramatically, especially in certain disciplines. Okay, developers, for instance, software engineers, way up in just 24 months, just way up. And
well, I'm even just talking about the retail. So in a retail environment,
yeah, you're competing with people who want to pay $20 and $30 to work at Target.
Right.
Yeah, right. I mean, and that's so. What we're having to do, and what you're going to have to do there is, we're having to look and go, we can't afford it. So you said comfort zone. It's not in your comfort zone. Does that mean you're not really ROIing on the payroll?
I'm ROIing currently on the payroll, but to add like one more person would just be Yeah,
and so
I'd love to.
I'll give you an example. If a senior developer's $300,000 a year writing code, and they used to be $200,000 a year, if I could make money with the code they wrote at $200 and I can't at $300, it means I'm not hiring them.
Right.
They price themselves out of the market, and they have to work somewhere else. And we're actually having that conversation in the last 6 months here. That exact conversation right there. So, I mean, it might not be numbers that big with someone working retail, but if you can make it work at $15 an hour, but everybody else is paying $25, and when you hire them at $25, you actually lose money on the activity that they are engaged in, then, the idea in business is if you're going to take on payroll, you make more than it costs you. Otherwise, you go out of business, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so you just have to look up and go, I'm not able to hire anybody to do that because I can't pay that. And so one of two things is going to happen. Then wages are going to adjust on that type of position, or you're going to figure out a way to get a return on investment on that person working is going to make you more than they cost you. But they have to make you more than they cost you, or by definition, you're heading out of business. It's frustrating as crud right now, though.
What kind of retailer are you?
Jewelry.
Jewelry. Interesting.
Yeah. We do custom design and bridal mostly, and a lot of in-house work. So.
Okay. Are you trying to hire a jeweler or somebody work the front counter?
Oh, both would be great.
Yeah.
But trying to find anybody too that's qualified is really difficult as well.
Mm-hmm. That knows
that's another topic.
That doesn't think carrots are on salad. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's been very difficult, and especially since we shut down, and then everybody comes out. Everybody lost their job, or everybody is looking for a new job because they can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they're coming out just looking for a lot more money, like a third more, 50% more than what we were paying before.
So what is the hourly you're trying to fill? Rate?
25.
You're offering 25?
Yeah, between 20 and 25, depending on.
And that's to work the front counter, and they need to know something about diamonds.
They need to know something about diamonds.
Yeah, and you used to pay how much?
18.
Okay, and so they're asking for 35?
No, they're asking for more. They're looking for salary. They're looking for extra, vacation time on top of that. So it's I'm paying you to not be here when I don't have anybody to cover for you except for me.
Yeah.
And,
if someone is in that spirit, I'm not interested in having them on my team.
Right. But there's more and more of them coming through the door.
I know. I got the same thing. And like we used to say around here that I got a ton of millennials on the team and a ton of Gen Zs on the team. And people used to talk about how bad a worker they are, and they're all self-centered and they're all arrogant and all that stuff. They're all snowflakes. They're not. There's a percentage of them are participation trophy idiots. And there's a percentage of them that will charge the gates of hell with a water pistol. They're the most crusade-driven, wonderful team members I've ever had. But you've got to get the ones that actually, that like weren't raised by Nintendo and instead actually had parents. In other words, they have a work ethic, they have a value system, instead of sitting around going the whole axis of the world runs through the top of your pointed little head, and because it doesn't. And so what you're running into is the frustration of the percentage of that population that is self-centered, entitled, and arrogant, and you don't want them on your team for any amount of money. If you could get them at $16, if you could get them at $14, you wouldn't want them. Because they're there for what they can get rather than what they can add. And it's frustrating as crud. Hiring and running a team, managing culture in the team is one of the hardest business problems I've ever tried to solve. And it's a constant day in and day out battle to go, oh, you can't work here anymore. Look at you. You just misbehaved. That's unbelievable. Or, nope, we're not even going to have another conversation about it at this interview. It's over. And you just end it. I mean, it's very hard, isn't it, George? Yeah. We fight it here.
Yeah, and there's always the worry they're going to leave for a nickel more. Because if they came in the door with their demands, they're going to go to the next place as soon as they can find an extra nickel there. And that's one of the problems. You got to find people who care, and you might need to give them room to grow.
We've had some people leave because they wanted to work from home, and we don't work from home. And so we said, you know what, that was a good move. You should leave.
Self-selected.
Because we don't work from home. Because, we don't not work from home. Or whatever it was Elon said, right? That's the deal. Yeah. No, thank you. We're not doing that. We actually believe that it's not good that man be alone. It's good that man be next to man and, talking to each other and having brainstorming sessions and creative. That happens in person. And these companies are finding out that work from home is killing their productivity. This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel Ramsey, personality, host of the Entree Leadership Podcast, is my co-host today. This hour is an Entree Leadership theme hour where we're talking with business owners, business leaders about business questions, leadership questions. And like our callers today, if you're a business owner, you got questions about the tactical how-tos of running a company, we run one every day here. So we are not theoretical people in some classroom somewhere. We're actual practitioners, and we put together a thing called the Entree Leadership Master Series, and we will show you the tactical how-tos of business. It is a serious, hard, long week. And the conference is a crash course in all the tactical lessons that we've learned in 30 years of doing the business. You will leave tired, overwhelmed, totally informed. We've had people say stuff like, I learned more in this 5 days than I did getting my MBA. And we're hosting the Master Series in Nashville, our own hometown, here on the 25th through the 29th of September, about a month away, and less than a month away. We have like 15 or 20 seats left, something like that. It is almost sold out. But we thought since we're doing an Entree Leadership Theme Hour, we'd give you a chance to come if you want to come. You got a month to get ready, and you got about a day to buy your ticket because they're going to be gone. So if you're interested in coming to Entree Leadership, enjoying Nashville, and learning more than you have ever learned in a leadership course, because, boy, we pour it on. I'm teaching most of the lessons this year, so personally. So it's a lot of fun. I love being with small business people, love being with business people. It's my favorite thing. I think small business is the backbone of the American economy, and I've got statistics to prove it. So go to RamseySolutions.com/Master Series to reserve your seats. As the podcast host, are you doing something there this year?
I will be in attendance. I'll make a cameo at some of the events there.
A cameo?
Yeah, that's what they call it these days.
Is it? Okay.
But these are my people.
If you're a star, you get cameos.
I am inspired by just meeting these business owners. They're incredible, and one of the things that is fascinating is one of the best parts of the event is them meeting each other, because business is lonely as a business owner. And so to talk to someone else who may be in your field, maybe across the country, who knows, it just gives fuel to your soul to keep fighting.
We've been doing these over a decade and almost 2 decades. And we have people that come to these events every year, and they've been friends for a long time, and they met at this event. But they're running businesses across the country, sometimes the same industry, sometimes not. But they just strike up a chord because there's something about small business people that are cut from the same cloth. So if you want to come, Entree Leadership Master Series, September 25th through the 29th, go to RamseySolutions.com/Master Series, and you can reserve a seat. RamseySolutions.com/Master Series. Sabrina is in New Hampshire. Hey, Sabrina, welcome to the Ramsey Show. What's up?
Hi, Dave and George. Thank you for taking my call today.
Sure. How can we help?
All right. So my husband and I own a small business, a heavy equipment repair shop. The business is debt-free, and personally, we're in baby step 7. So my question is, how much do we pay ourselves, and what do we do with the rest of our profits? Do you have suggested budgeting guidelines for giving, marketing, retained earnings, and investing? We're doing well and have great profit margins, so we just really don't know what to do with our money now, which is a good problem to have.
Oh, it's wonderful. Congratulations. Very well done. Very well done. Well, what we do is we set a percentage for different categories inside the business that we're going to use. Like you said, marketing is an example. And then we adjust it. If it ends up being too much, we adjust it down. One of our categories that we spend a ton of money is on our team, on HR. And so events that we do for our team, gifts that we do for our team, team members that are in crisis and we come alongside them, all of that is as a percentage of budget. And sometimes it runs covering the Christmas party. And by the time we come up on the Christmas party at the end of the year, sometimes that percentage wasn't enough and we have to beef it up. Sometimes it wasn't more than enough. And we've got too much going in and we end up doing something else with it. But we're not obligated by law to spend any of that. So it's just something we made up, right? Same thing with your marketing. And so you say, all right, we're going to spend X percentage. And with that, we still make a fine profit. And but if you end up saying, gosh, we don't really need to spend that much to get the business in the door, we could spend less, then you dial it down a couple points, right?
Okay.
And then as far as the profits go, it's all yours. Just take it home. What's the problem? I mean, set aside. We do set a percentage that has not changed in years for growing retained earnings. And so if you've got cash stacked inside the business that equals half a year of operating, you probably got enough cash in the business.
Okay.
And you could just start, you could reduce that amount then. But I would put a percentage of my profits into the retained earnings, which is for future growth. It's for buying things, equipment. It's for emergencies. It's the business emergency fund. It's all of those things. And just put a percentage of your profits towards that and then take the rest of it home. That's what it's for. You run a business so you make a profit and take it home. There's no obligation to leave it sitting down there.
Okay, that was my concern. Was I didn't know if it's safer to stuff it all away or if we can enjoy some. I was just.
Well, I mean, you don't want to be down there with no cash.
Right.
But you also don't need. I mean, if you have a $5 million a year business, you don't need $20 million sitting down there in cash either.
Okay.
Do you feel like you're not paying yourselves enough right now?
We are gross household income is $110,000 right now. So I feel like we make plenty, especially now that we don't have a mortgage payment.
Yeah, but that's just the salary you're taking out. That's not your profits.
Correct. That's
your profits are all taxable whether you leave them down there or not. Because Sub S and LLC are both pass through, and so all your profits are taxable every year whether you leave it at the office or whether you take it home. So you're already paying taxes on the profits. You might as well just take them home and enjoy them if the business has got the cash that it needs for retained earnings and for marketing and for doing the operation of the business. And then the rest of it I take home in my case. And, now I am investing in our building complexes out of my personal income around this campus here. And so take it home and it ends up staying on the property, but not inside of the Ramsey Solutions business. It moves over into family stuff. We're building these buildings and that. So that's the difference there. So, but yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Jeff is with us. Jeff is in Knoxville. Hi, Jeff. What's your business question for today?
Okay, kind of tagging on what she had, but we have extra cash as well, and I'm just wondering if you had a income to profit ratio of how much when should we take that cash out and invest it in something? That's kind of what we're trying to figure out, that ratio.
Well, I mean, as far as retained earnings go, and very few businesses need more than 6 months of operating capital.
Gotcha.
Now, in addition to that, if you see some big purchase in the future, you need to buy a $500,000 piece of equipment, then you would tack on something to go do that with, right? But your retained earnings cover cash flow fluctuations since you're not borrowing money with a line of credit. Your retained earnings cover emergencies. Your retained earnings cover some purchases of items. But if you've got something that is a major thing, you probably want to budget for that over a period of time. But there's not a set margin rate. I mean, I've got like 14 different profit centers inside the business, and publishing operates on different margins than live events do. And so, whatever kind of business you're in is going to have different margins.
Right. Yeah, we basically have, 3 divisions in our business,
Yeah, but the industry that you're in may have a fairly standard margin for those 3 things that you can look at. But, there's not one that all small business should have X percent of margin. No, because especially people dealing with hard goods, like, for instance, publishing, the margins are smaller. Or if you're dealing with digital, your margins go through the roof because your cost of goods sold is air. It's just the production of the item. So
these are good problems to have, running your business debt-free and having too much money.
These are great problems.
I love these business owners.
Horrible.
Well done.
Horrible situation they're in. You have too much money, don't know what to do with it. Send it to Georgia's Bahamas Fund.
I'll send you my Venmo.
Yeah, that's it. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 24:16, for the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity. Winston Churchill said, success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. There it is. It's an Entree Leadership theme hour as we talk small business, and leadership. This hour, George Camel Ramsey, personality, host of the Entree Leadership podcast, is my co-host. If you want to come to our Entree Leadership Master Series the end of September, there's a handful of tickets left. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events, and you can find out everything that's going on there. RamseySolutions.com/Master Series will put you right on the page, actually. But if you hit events, you can always find out all of our events that are going on. And we did announce earlier today that the San Antonio event for Building Wealth is sold out in September. The Phoenix event, the second one we launched, is within a handful of seats of being sold out. We'll probably announce it tomorrow as a sellout. So if you want to go to those, Entree Leadership just has a handful of seats for this summit left if you want to come. So we'd love to have you at all of these things, but don't dilly-dally around. Get yourself in there and get you a ticket. All right, Toby is with us. Toby is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Hi, Toby. How are you?
Doing well, Mr. Ramsey. How about yourself, sir?
Better than we deserve, brother. How can we help?
Yes, sir. So we have grown our company in a very good fashion, and we are moving more towards owning the infrastructure through the family or the family trust and leasing back to the organization as far as the infrastructure with some of the tax benefits there. And what I'm looking for some advice on is how to protect the family more when they own the infrastructure, and it'll be several dollars worth in the several million. One plant could be a couple million, one could be 2 or 3 million. So we're talking about some significant dollars there.
Okay, so the plant that's worth a couple $1 million is in a trust that the family is a beneficiary, has a beneficial interest on the trust, and you're leasing it back to the company.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
What protection? And what do you need protection from?
Well, give you a small example, and I'm just looking for input on this. We have several gasoline convenience stores. I had a lady pull up, got this on camera, got fuel, was a drop-top Mercedes, took off with the gas pump in her car, hose whipped around, poured fuel into her car, and naturally got an ambulance chaser, sued us over it. Started out about $15,000. That's when I found out the good balancing act with insurance company, and it was the first time we had to settle for like $5,000 over something that was clearly not our fault. So when I look at us owning infrastructure personally through the families and leasing back to the companies, my concern is this. Say somebody drives up, runs in your front wall. It could be their fault. If an ambulance chaser lawyer type then represents that person, naturally they could sue the company for a settlement. But if they do enough digging, they're going to find out that the family owns it, leases back to the company.
Doesn't matter.
So
doesn't matter.
Okay.
The family doesn't own it. Trust owns it.
The trust owns it, correct.
Yeah, they can sue the trust.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So the building I'm sitting in is owned by my family trust, and it's leased to my company.
Okay.
All of which, by the way, I control. But that doesn't mean you have access to it if you run a truck through the front of it. You can only sue the trust. You can sue the company that's operating. You can sue both of them. But
right.
You're not getting me personally because I'm not the owner.
So when you guys do that, you guys didn't get like one recommendation that happened. So like, let's say one physical plant, the company has general liability insurance for $5 million.
Of course you ought to have that.
Yep.
You need that.
Sure.
That doesn't. But if the lawsuit's for $50 million, they won't help.
Correct.
So the only thing you can do is keep the what I've done, and a lot of folks doing from a risk management scenario, is you spread the assets into different ownership groups. And so, like, I would not have one trust own all 6 gas stations. I'd have a different trust for each gas station.
Okay.
It's a pain in the butt because you got 5 tax returns to file. You got 5 sets of corporate crap with the state. You got 5 sets of everything. Yep. But then if they take one of the gas stations away from you in a lawsuit because they beat that deal on that trust, you hand them the keys to it and you close it down. And you got the other 4.
That makes sense. I just visited an oil company out west, and they own a whole block. They're a lot larger than us, and they have.
I don't put more than $5 million worth of real estate in one LLC. I open a different LLC.
Okay.
So, like, I've got some houses as an example, and I'll total up the houses when it gets to be about $5 million worth of houses in rental properties. I form another LLC, and so I've got multiple LLCs. I don't even own my cars. I don't own anything anymore. Nothing is in my name. Good luck. Sue me.
Yeah, that's where we're at. The only thing me and my wife own personally is a personal checking account.
Yeah,
and maybe we should get that out.
Yeah, because there are idiots out there, and there's 2 lawyers for every idiot. That's the problem you've got, and so you got a target on your butt because you managed to become successful in this economy. It's aggravating as crud. But it's the reality. So you carry large lumps of liability insurance, lots of umbrellas, lots of general liability insurance policies in your operational policies, that kind of thing, and you don't put more than you keep your assets, the target size, small. So if an idiot gets drunk and falls off the front porch of one of these rental properties and decides it's my fault that he got drunk and fell off the porch and sues us, then he might get those 4 houses, but he's not getting nothing else. And that's if he gets all the way through the umbrella policies and everything else and gets past me being pissed off and funding the lawyer to kick his drunk butt. But I'll do that too. But aside from that, the actual thing of the size of the target has been diminished because once it gets to a certain size, I just build another one.
Yep. Can I ask one question on that point you made? One last one? Okay, so if you make sure one LLC, let's say it's no more worth than $4 to $5 million, and you have general liability for $4 to $5 million, I understand if they sue you for 50. I get that.
Well, you're just going to hand them the keys if you lose. Walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
You're now in the gas station business. Good luck with that.
Have you ever gotten a personal general liability policy on what you own personally, even though it's in the trust?
I don't own anything personally.
Additional insurance. Okay, because it's all in the trust. Yeah.
No,
okay.
it's all in a trust. It's all in an LLC. I don't own a thing.
Yeah.
Except the interest in these different companies. But that,
So anything we own personally that's not in the trust, we need to make sure we're getting that stuff in the trust.
Yeah, I started buying my cars in LLCs. My lake house is in an LLC. Everything. So because of these idiots that are out there running around thinking that you owe them something because you became successful. It's just the world we live in. There's a bunch of evil people out there. And
yeah, we've had to put cameras on all of our trucks, front, sides, and backs, because we literally had people pull in front of us and slam on the brakes and then try to sue us.
Oh yes, yep, for sure. I mean, I can you imagine me bumping into you and coming up and going, oh, sorry about that. Here's my insurance, and they go, oh, Dave Ramsey. Oh God! And they fall on the ground and and start foaming at the mouth. I mean, this is why I carry a $10 million liability umbrella. Because of this stuff. It's just sad. It's not funny, really, but it's the world we live in, and it's one of the expenses that you have to take on
to protect it
and to protect yourself. And it's risk management category is what it falls into. You're just risk management. So big chunks of insurance where you can, and keep the keep the target bite size instead of a whole buffet.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Cool. That was a fun discussion. I hadn't got to have that one on the air before. I've talked to my friends about that stuff, but
we're nerding out now. It's fun.
Yeah, we're completely nerding out.
You want the right kind of insurance, enough coverage.
Did I just tune into the Ramsey Show? Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Diversify your risk portfolio.
There
you
is.
Go.
I mean, that's exactly what we've done. And
smart.
Get to review that again tomorrow night in the estate plan.
Oh, good. This is a warm up, Dave.
The Monty Python meeting. The I'm feeling much better. I'm really not. It's
the
a
Dave will die meeting.
The Dave's going to die this year meeting.
I think you're going to outlive us all, Dave, just out of spite.
Dadgum right. Just dadgum right. Count on it, George. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
Do you love a good Dave rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.